Boom! I'm late. I'm sorry. Arlen was giving me some last minute things, talking about some stuff. So, how is everybody? I hope everybody's doing good. Steve, good evening. I'm everywhere. Let me put that down there. Kuya David just became a member. Oh, thank you, David. Thank you so much. Oh, we've run into a Joe named Mike a couple times now this morning. That was kind of funny. Central Florida, how you doing, Bruce? Oh, Baguio, how is it? It's been cool down here at night. I bet it's been getting cold there. It's dinner time in Los Angeles, but I'm having breakfast food, biscuits, and I love biscuits and gravy. There's only one place in town that has good biscuits and gravy, I think. The British are coming. That's fine. All right. I mean, it's just, you know what? He is who he is, and I'm not going to stoop to his level. Although there was an interesting live that Mike did about him this morning, but I'm sure he'll have something to say about it. Blaming Arlen. Heath, good morning. Scott, good to see you. Oh, look, there is John. How you doing, John? Good morning. Let me do this. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to post that. And whoops, I'm sorry, wait. There we go. So, too high, too much. Too high, too much. I'm trying to get everything readjusted. I apologize. Let me do something about that. The problem, that's my sad news, is my input test. Let me bring it down just a little bit more. All right, there we go. So I posted the link to the panel if anybody would like to join. But yes, that is my sad news. Unfortunately, my 2017 Intel iMac died, like literally hours after my last live stream. Good morning, Ruby. Music to motion. How you doing, Michael? Hey, Brent. How you doing, California Bear? So anyways, yes, it did. It died. I did everything I could to revive it. I couldn't. And I ended up buying a new iMac. And I wanted to wait another year for a replacement because I wanted to get another iMac with hopefully a 27-inch screen instead of Ian, yes, indeed. I wanted to get a bigger screen, but I had no choice there. Where to get good business? Pappy's Grill and Chill over at the Drake Hotel. He knows how to make good biscuits and gravy. He really does. Expat Ian, nice pictures on the walls. Yeah, it's part of the decorator package. When we bought our condo, we actually bought our condo from a real estate investment trust that that had bought a bunch of them and was selling one. And so they had the candy decorator package, and those pictures are glued to the wall. So it's not until I'm ready to rip them off the wall, repaint everything, and then have art to hang that I'm going to do it. Good morning, Ricky. Dardos, hola, ¿cómo está, Dardos? Ruby, is that the sad news? You know what, Ruby? Yeah, that's the sad news because I wasn't expecting it to die. And because I wasn't expecting it to die, I didn't have everything backed up for a file to transfer. So I literally had to rebuild everything. All of my YouTube editing stuff, I've lost it. So we're going to have to kind of wait and see how all that goes. It's bad news because I've got a good solid 10, 12 hours into it and going to continue that. So, how often do you shave your head? Every time I shower, Philip. Every time. I don't have much hair up here, but I have plenty of hair all through the sides. Just so you know, one of the things that I'm going to be taking a look at here is going to be the replay of this when it gets done. I want to see how this is actually the webcam that's built into the iMac, and I want to see how it looks versus my other camera that I've been using. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. A Joe named Mike. Hi. Yep, at the drug. Ian, just so you know, I did answer your question about cost in the province for us. And I see it did not make it in the post when I looked back. And then I was going to do it again, but I was a little lazy because I was going to say, oh my God, because it was a long explanation. And then it died. And so that was a big problem. So I'm going to answer it here in just a second. I'll just answer it straight out. Cope almost knew they have an Apple Genius. No, they don't have actual Apple stores here. They have Apple authorized resellers. So, no. Whenever I'm staying at Candy, I'll ask the staff to cover them. Not appropriate for kids to see when they visit us. Yes, I agree. 100%. Dang it, that sucks, Mike. Hope there's a way and maybe have to try to recover some of those files. The files are history, CB. They really and truly are. So, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But it would be nice if I can just still use the old iMac. If I can delete everything and factory install the operating system, then I'll put the basics on there and none of the financials or anything and take it to the province. And that way, when we go to the province, I don't have to take a laptop. It's just one less thing I have to put in the back pocket. All right, let me answer Ian's question about the cost in the province for us. So, just so you know, we live in Kitcherow, which is in Mindanao. We are about an hour south of Surigao City and about an hour northeast of Butuan. So, in the province, and we live in a town of 7,000. Arlen swears it's 7,000. I think it's closer to 5. But, so what's it cost there? Well, beef and pork, and when I say beef, Filipino beef, let's take it back just one step. Refrigerated goods, forget it. Believe it or not, we got our first 7-Eleven last year. All right? That's the only place to buy food that's refrigerated. The 2 grocery stores there they don't have refrigerated foods. They don't sell meats. The only place to buy chicken, beef, and pork is at the market. And those days are going to be the fresh meat is Wednesday and Saturday, if I remember correctly. Okay, eggs you can get everywhere, rice, sardines. We've got grocery stores we've got 2 grocery stores that are actually pretty big for province stores, but they don't stock meat. Pork and beef, and it's Filipino beef. It's not I'm sorry, let me get John on here and fix him up real quick. Let's see here, John, and then we'll do that. And here we go, John, you're on now. So let me just very quickly, let me finish answering Ian. So beef and pork for us, in Mindanao, all beef and pork have to be processed at Mindanao government processing centers. In other words, you can't even butcher your own pig anymore. You must take your pig to the center and get it butchered there. And that is, I don't know, who is Mike's boyfriend? I don't know who the hell that is. But he's not showing up, so you're toast. So anyways, so beef and pork there are actually a little bit more expensive than beef and pork at the market here in Angeles. Now, chicken, there's no rules and regulations on. So chicken's pretty cheap, but refrigeration is the biggest issue. There's no refrigeration to store meat in the province. So beef and pork's a little bit more expensive. Electricity, the rate is about the same, a little bit cheaper than here, but it's not anywhere near steady. We have constant brownouts, everything else. Internet, same thing as it is here for broadband through Comcast, not Comcast, Globe, PLDT, PDLT, something like that. But it is the province, that's for sure. I mean, we can go out and get barbecue, chicken manuk, chicken intestines on a stick, which I kind of like. If you make those intestines a little crispy and you dip them in the sauce, they're not bad, Ian, in my opinion. I'm sure some people don't think so. Chicken, stuff like that. But no, our province is a real province. We don't have big stores. We don't have a mall. We're an hour from the closest mall. Our hospital doesn't have a doctor after 3 p.m. and on many days they don't have a doctor at all. So, it's real province. Is it cheaper to live there? Sure it is. Can you have a nice home there? Sure you can. But even in our province, all right, a clear titled land, all right, not mother title, not family land, but clear titled land that's actually deeded at the Register of Deeds, the ROD, in Butuan, which is the provincial capital. It's expensive. It's gotten much more expensive. We just saw a lot. We're looking at some more land, and there's a lot. It's about 250 square meters, and this is jungle, and it's $1,000,000 pesos. There's no electric run to it. There's no water to it. Oh, city water's dirt cheap, but only works a couple hours a week, and the pressure is desperately low. So that's to give you a good answer, Ian. If I hope, and if you have other questions, I'm happy to ask you. Well, good morning, John. How are you today?
Good. How are you? I hope you're good too. I this morning was having my coffee, and I say this, and I don't know whether Americans understand. Tongue in cheek, meaning taking me, right?
Right.
I nearly spat my coffee. It's so funny. The guy with the black. I can never remember his name. I know I'm subscribed to it. I can't remember. I think it's Mike's.
Mike's Philippine Journey. Yes, I saw it.
And I initially thought it was a live one, and I was thinking, oh, that's okay. So he's decided to do what you did many years ago on one of my videos. And that is that he wanted to cut, go every word, how he wanted to present it. And I thought, okay, he's obviously got to take money there and he's able to go. Then I realised that it wasn't a live one. It's one of these ones where you can interact even though it's been pre-recorded. And the reason I did it, I saw you alongside him as a guest.
Yes, I came in.
Noticed that that's you the other day when I was talking, because suddenly you were here, then the next minute you moved. So obviously he cut it. And I then realised what he'd done. He's edited and done. Right, now first of all, my videos are aimed at everybody. And the majority of people who watch are about. And I'm not my guess. It comes from my analytics. It's about 65% are coming from America. Now, 65%. I'm only using now the comments that come to my channel, and I encourage comments. I would say that 85% of my comments are in favour of what I talk about within my videos. Now, I talk mainly about how to deal with the different ways that Filipinos, and that's generally women, react to foreigners, just like myself. I gained that from my own experience, from experience of people listening to your videos, other people's videos, and that's how I judge it. I'm no, like I say, I'm no guru. But, first of all, I don't rubbish this. And if somebody in the economist, I'm sure just like you, if I was to rubbish your wife, you would just, I would imagine, I'm going here by, from what I've seen of you, you would just delete that. It's rubbish. I don't need that kind of shit on my channel. Excuse my expression. But that's the same way I feel. If somebody wants to be disrespectful to Jane, I will remove it. I don't sit there and say, well, he says he's married, or is it his girlfriend, or is he, 1 minute he says this, 1 minute he says it. Actually, Mike, I'm not disparaging to you or your wife, except the comment that I made describing you as fat, bald, talking from your bedroom, living in ivory towers. That's tongue-in-cheek. And I know that from your comment and your reaction visually, and we do take each other visually, you can see my face, I can see yours. Therefore, when you chuckle in front of the camera, it gives me the impression that you saw it that same way. Now, I understand that having a channel is all about, it is about clicks, It's about clickbait. It's about encouraging people to come and view, because we don't do this just for the sake of doing it. I do it as a hobby. Yes, it does. It does give to Jane, because the channel is actually owned by Jane. My name is Jane says, and she gets the money. Now, when I think about videos about very few, but when I did do a few, I brought up mine. Now, I'll emphasize the little things as mine. That's another word for what I spend myself in being here in the Philippines. Now, that presupposes, of course, that two things are together. One is Jane is working. One is that Jane is working. One is that Jane may have a sideline, may not. But they don't come into when I portray what I'm saying, $1,000 per month. Now, the caveat is, if you then want to add a girlfriend's cost, children's cost, adult or baby, then that obviously would add to the budget of the family, the household, as my, yeah, go ahead. Now I don't hear you.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. But it's not. I don't know why that. You just been recording this, or there's no sound from you on. I can't hear you, so I assume that you're talking live on your channel, but as the guest to your channel, I can't hear it. Right, hang on.
Oh, no, there we go. I'm sorry. Okay, John, if you look to the right of the box that your picture is in, you're going to see a tab that'll say like private and community. If you hit community, you'll see all of the comments from the subscribers. And I was behind, and I didn't see that there was a bad echo. And I don't know whether my microphone was picking you up or what. So I'm going to turn my microphone on and let you continue while and see if that alleviates the echo.
I can hear you perfectly, but maybe it is delayed because I can't see myself live.
You know what, John? You're frozen up. I'm gonna boot you out and you come back in. You're frozen up. So, folks, I am so sorry. I didn't realize. I don't know whether that was me picking up him on my microphone or what, but I think we'll try it and see what happens. Might sound better if he's underwater, speaks. I thought my audio is bad. Mike, yours no echo, his straight up echo. Okay. I don't get much. I mean, I get some echo from John here, but not a lot. His signal is breaking up. Yes. I'm skimming through comments, everybody. Yeah, that's what I did. I booted him out, and I'll have him sign back in. Now, he may be looking for a place where he gets a better signal. Go, Paul. Oh my God. Better on our part. There you go. Much better. Um, having toured. I think maybe the echo was back. Sound on John. Mike, you might need a headphone. Yeah, I might, but I don't have a set of wired headphones, I don't think. I might. Arlen, if you're listening, if your headphones have a 3.5 millimeter jack extension, could you bring them to me? Yeah, his image was frozen. Mike, there should be a cancel echo tab if there is one. There is, and oh, you know what? See, there you go. Mike's Philippine journey. Again, like I told everybody, I'm rebuilding all of this stuff. I'm having to rebuild everything. I did not hit the echo cancellation. Yep. Okay. Well, if John will come back, we've got it figured out. Yep. So again, I don't maybe if there's a jack, but the Empire Strikes Back, Harish. Okay, so there we go. There was John, and I'm hoping he will come back and try and sit there and have what he has to say, and then I hope I have an opportunity to say what I have to say, because there is some difference there on how we feel, but it goes in here. But okay, so I'm gonna have to wait for him to get back to see if these work. Whoa. But if he doesn't come back, I'm not gonna wear them. Okay, I'll throw the link back out there. So there's the link again in case anybody else would like to come on as well. And we can all chat and try and figure it out. If I can hear him, it's okay. I rather not. It's okay. You know what? Let's give him an opportunity to stand up for himself. Let's give him an opportunity to do that. I mean, Mike has a live coming, and if there's an issue that he has with what Mike had to say, he can come up with him, and then he and I can also talk about it. But talking about Mike isn't gonna. I have nothing to do with that. Your whole point is that guys shouldn't come to the Philippines and expect to live like a king. That was my point, but it was, a Joe named Mike is absolutely correct. It is my point. All right. Good morning, Kiki. Hope you're doing well. But yes, that was the point, Joe. It really, really was. Yeah, I should get some popcorn as well. But we'll flip that over there. And then if anybody comes on and joins the live, if John does, then or Mike or anybody else, I'm more than happy to cam them up. All right, here comes John. Let's see if we fix this problem. And well, I don't have his camera, but maybe Maybe we've got his voice. The guest has muted themselves. I don't get it. He's not there. So, nothing I can do about that. Oh. Oh, John's trying to get back in again. Let's see where this goes. Guest is in the green room and gone again. That time he left. Ruby says maybe he can break down his food budget for $20K for 4 adults and dogs in a month. All right, that would be interesting. Maybe some can on $1,000 a month. Not me, Gen X Ben says. I think I think a lot of us, you know what? It's a difference between the types of individuals. Can you live on $1,000 a month? Sure, you can survive on $1,000 a month, or you can live on $1,000 a month if your standard is at that $1,000 level. And there are those people that feel that their standard at that $1,000 level is just fine. I made it very clear in my video when I would talk to about it. There's just so much missing in that. All right, there is just so much missing there, so much not there. All right, I need a hospital near me. I need to be close to a hospital because, by God, if I have a heart attack, I want to make it a couple more years. All right. We do international and national travel. In fact, I'm flying 5 family members in next week. I mean, we need things that the province for a full-time destination does not provide. Do you need that to live? No. Absolutely not. But actually, yes, I take that back. Do you need it to survive? No. Do you need it to live? Living is enjoying your survival. Surviving is getting by even happily. You can happily survive. But living is going those next steps. And that's my opinion. I guess. For other people, it could be different. Copal says maybe the $20K budget includes a dog 4 times a month. I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, I wish the southern part of the Philippines would send some of their rain to central and northern part of Luzon. Yeah, man, I got to tell you, we got a crap load of rain down in Mindanao. It has just rained a lot. Steve says, with every budget you want to use as a plan, you should have 3 to 6 times of that in emergency contingency cash at full times. All right, let's talk about that for a second. Yes, Pablo, that was the famous Brit. Howdy. All right, we're going to talk about that for a minute. All right. When you showed your budget months ago, I pointed out what you missed. Yes, Ruby did. Ruby absolutely did. Setting a limit is all about your comfort zone being able. I live on $1,300 a month in Valencia for 10 months. 0 minimum. I guess that's supposed to be maybe 10 minutes from Dumaguete. Lives quite well. Saved $200 per month. Yeah, well, Kiki, I don't know. I got no idea. And I know people that live in Valencia, and they live in They don't live anywhere near the life that I could be happy living. And Valencia is Dumaguete. I mean, don't you have to take a boat or a ferry to get to the mainland or something like? I mean, how long does it take you to get to an airport from Dumaguete? Just out of curiosity. Dave said, John, I'm one of those entitled veterans. Yeah. I want to live out my retirement, not just survive it. Only kings I have seen in the Philippines are on the deck of a playing card. Dave, Merry Christmas, Dave. I told my wife, do not DNR. Okay, so let's go back for just a second. We're talking about this comment 3 to 6 times for savings and stuff like that. All right. Okay. I think of a budget as a business budget. All right. And then a business budget, when you're starting a company, moving to the Philippines, you're starting all over. Moving to the Philippines, you're starting a company. All right. Now, maybe you've got a girlfriend, you're going to live on their land, then throw this shit right out the wall. All right. It doesn't matter. But when you do that, you have startup costs and capital. All right. You have startup cost and you have capital investment and you have operating cash to begin with. I never see anybody talk about that until this morning. Believe it or not, John said something about it finally after 8 years of dribble and whatever he calls his videos. All right. Whenever he could get past throwing stuff out at Americans. Now, yes, you need all kinds of additional stuff. All right. You really and truly do. But you're not going to get it based on what you're going to see in YouTube. And I answered a comment that Ian, the expat, made about, you know something? If you guys would spend an hour to watch a video, then I guarantee you would be able to get a full-blown idea. But to try and condense in 9 to 12 minutes a budget for starting a whole new life all over again in the Philippines, that's not going to be easy to do. You're going to have to skip some stuff. You're going to have to assume people know. You're making, unfortunately, making assumptions that they understand already they need to do X, Y, Z. Fidel, I live in the Philippines. I know I need more than 1,000 to be comfortable. I need internet and constant AC and fan running along with other comforts. Yeah. And so prior to my budget, just so you know, I just got the electric bill for the month. All right. Our electric bill this month was 7,000 pesos. So that's what we spend for electric in our condo. All right. 7. I mean, we've been much higher. Trust me. All right. But we've learned how to regulate it a bit and things like that. So 7,000 pesos, and that's what it was last month approximately. So there's 7,000 right there. I can tell you that when Arlene and I go to the province, and we're there for 2 weeks, our electric bill there is considerably higher than everything else, than what it usually is in the province. Arlene's father lives on an electric bill of less than 1,000 pesos a month. Okay? We go there for 2 weeks. That electric bill's 2,500, 3,000 pesos. because we have a very large master bedroom, and I run that AC practically day and night because I'm in it a lot when we're there. I could do a budget chronicle similar to Bar Girl videos. I have lost my entire Bar Girl video stuff. I have to redo it all. Ian says that his electric bill was 2,000 pesos. So that's a big difference already. Yeah, it is. Start up instead of. Ian says aircon on at night. And normally that's the way we are here, Ian. Aircon goes on here between 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it goes off between 4 and 6 a.m. in the morning. But you have to remember, we cook with electric. We have a stovetop and an oven. We have a washer dryer. All right. We have appliances, and we cook a lot. So, we have a large double-sized refrigerator. I can't say anything. I wish my power and gas bill was that low. We don't use gas for anything. Well, I say that. We don't use gas. So out on our balcony, I have a small area set up with a single burner where Arlene can cook whatever she wants that stinks, that I don't like in the house. But Ruby, that reminds me, all this budget talk is taking Mike's attention away from his important work on the Bar Girl series. Dear John, let it go. It's probably going to be a couple weeks before I can do another one of those, because I have to rebuild that entire PowerPoint, and there's not a lot I can do about it. In Valencia, with my air, my electric bill went from 1,200 to 2,000. Just depends on where Valencia is, not the province. They call it Little Baguio because it's always cool. Well, I don't know. Kiki, you've been here in Angeles. Is it the same temperature as Valencia? Nice. Been record hot here. It's been hot. Copal makes me wonder, bar girls can live on $1,000 a month. I don't know. That's a good question, Steve. I don't know. Maybe I should write that one down. Do you think you could live on 55,000 pesos? Apologies for stepping into that. Mike, isn't there an option? There are all kinds of options, but I'm not sure what you're talking about. Hapa, we have 2 electric bills, so between 2.5 to 3K per month here in Pangasinan, and we use no AC. Wow. Ian says, oh, well, that's why your electric bill's so high. My wife cooks with gas. Yes, we don't have gas here. We have all electric. And so, yeah, that does. Except salt fish, chicken feet, things that have a high vinegar or soy sauce content that need to be cooked outside or stink. I'll just put it to you like that. BT and Betty, there's only 2 of us. When they're 50,000 a month on food, if I go to SNR once a month, 35,000 if I don't. Wow, BT. You just wanted to hear more about the Bar Girl sisters. Oh, I actually have to go talk to them next time we go bar hop, or one of them, because one of our subscribers may actually know them, and they have asked me to ask them a question to see if it's who they think they are. When I was staying with my folks' house located in the sticks, I ran my fan at night and slept with my shirt off. I don't know, Dave. I can't sleep that good with my, even with the fan and shirt off. Iggy says extract the hard drive out of the Mac and capture the data. Well, iMacs are not built to go into. You got to have special tools to get into an iMac. They did that on purpose. I wish I could. And I may try and do something like that. But first, we're just going to give it a couple more tries of something else. But before I even attempt to do any of that, I've got to reset up all the YouTube stuff, all my banking stuff, all my stock stuff, my emails, business, taxes, everything else. I've got to get that back online with my current situation. So I'm thinking maybe by the end of tomorrow. In fact, we're supposed to be going on a bar hop with friends tomorrow night. So I'm hoping to get this done before then. I run my aircon from 12 to 7 at night. I open the windows and French doors, turn on the ceiling fan, but I live right on the beach and get a great sea breeze. Yeah, and Mike, we're in Angeles City. We don't have a beach anywhere near us. No, it's much cooler, Kiki says. You guys want to try cool, come to Alaska. Yeah, you're in the negative numbers there. Hapa, what part of Pangasina? Steve, when I get to AC next month, I'll be happy to give you a master's class in PowerPoint. I could use a beginner's class in PowerPoint, to be honest with you. I don't. Wait. First off, we're scheduled to bar hop tomorrow night with friends. I don't know if it'll happen or not. Steve, I need a beginner's course in PowerPoint. So, I'm way, way far from a master's class. Trust me. Electric, $6,000 a month. AC, 24/7. Been alone. I'm not sure. Been alone. I don't know. Oh, okay. That's a Joe. Check Anho World Snowland. It's funny. I'll give them this. They found a way to sell earmuffs in the tropics. Moving back to Valencia next month. Can't take the city anymore. I was attacked outside Vikings. Oh. You know what, Kiki? I think you can get attacked anywhere, but hanging out on Walking Street is not the best thing to do. BT, but my 3-bedroom house is only $8,000 a month, and it's nice. Very nice. Steve, live in Baguio. I'm a blood type O positive, and Lamooks love me, so I'm under the Colombo. So... Ruby says, I'm Filipina, but need to have AC 24/7 whenever I'm in Angeles City. Generalize that Filipinos... don't generalize that Filipinos don't need AC to live. Yeah, some people do, and that's where, Ruby makes a very, very express point. Don't generalize anybody. Don't pigeonhole people into a certain situation. People are individual and they're different. Here's Ruby, born, raised, educated in the Philippines, and she needs air conditioning. Viking of Norway says, you want a cold, you come to Norway. It would be great if good old John came to town and bar hopped with you. Cheers to that old boy. No, that would not be great. That would not be great. Copal, I'd be happy to bar hop with you, but Dave and I would not be a good match at bar hopping. Hapa, actually no, the mosquitoes in the house for me to use one of those. Oh man. If you are age 60 plus and from the West with only $1,000 US, you must have done something really wrong in your life. Nah, you know what? Some people just go, but oh, John needs the link again. Let's try it again. There you go, John. You know, people could have gotten hurt. They could have gotten laid off. They could have done a whole lot of different things. So I don't know. Let me see. Just let me try something real quick. And then let me see if I can hear it here. Okay. All right. So hopefully the headphones will stop the echo. Also, though, I have the echo cancellation on, so we'll see how that goes as well. I was attacked the way Leon was attacked, but by a fat waitress, face blue smile. Sorry to hear that, Kiki. All right, John, let's try this again. All right, he's in the green room, and we're going to make him guest one, and we're going to go there. Now, John, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right.
And
Okay,
I'm going to put these headphones on. Wait.
I don't know whether it was on your end or mine, but I couldn't seemingly get it to reload. So I apologise about that, but never mind. I missed out everything that's being said, but I could see a few comments while I was waiting.
Everybody can hear you. I'm just adjusting these headphones. Keep going.
Right. Now, I think that if I can remember right, there being 75, tongue in cheek again, we were talking about the fact that, like Jane has an income of her own. She's worked for 20 plus years in government, and she does have a pretty good government income. And also, as I said before, the money that comes from the YouTube channel, which hasn't been coming in large amounts until maybe October this past year, it's gone up, and I don't know why, but maybe it's to do with the number of views. I have no idea. But anyway, all of that money goes directly into her bank account. I don't even see it. And in fact, to be honest, I didn't realize how much was actually going there until I found it in, when I say found it, bothered to press earnings on the YouTube studio. And then it also showed me that your last payment that you received, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, is that what she was getting? She never told me that. But that's women for you. And there's no disrespect meant to anybody, or at least of all Jane. And the thing is that when I talk about budgets, and I think a lot of people do talk about it in the same way, we talk about ourselves as a budget. That's, in other words, we get on a plane, we've bought a ticket, hopefully a return ticket, and again, I say, hopefully, some money in your pocket beyond your, either where you've got a pension or you've got a certain amount put aside to live here in the Philippines when you're making up your mind. But generally, I would think that most men, mainly men that come here, come with the idea, and I get this from the comments that are on my channel, and that is, and also from other channels, and that is that they've had enough of America, they've had enough of England, they've had enough of Australia and New Zealand. I don't know about New Zealand because it's a great place to live. So is Australia anyway, but as an American, I would say you would say the same about America. But at the moment, with all of the things going on, most of the reasons shown to me and talked about are they've had enough, they can't have a good life as they see it, in there in America. So good on them. They're probably over 60 and they've decided to come here. They've maybe been deciding for quite some time. And they built up a friendship with somebody online, which is what old people, not young guys like yourself, old people like me used to write love letters and they were called pen pals. And now we have the benefit of being able to talk one-on-one like we're doing now. And we can talk to our Filipino. And that's what drives us, our little bubble of paradise here in the Philippines is what drives them. And I can understand that.
But I would disagree, John. I would disagree with that. Okay? I would say it certainly is for some people, maybe even for a majority of people. But take somebody like myself. Arlene and I had a wonderful life in the U.S. I had plenty of money to live extremely well in the U.S. But we chose to come here not to live better, all right? Not because we didn't like the U.S. We chose to come here because Arlene's family is here. So for some people, they have Filipinas that aren't able to leave the Philippines. So it's, if I love this woman, I'm going to have to go live there. Because even now, I don't know about how it is to get into the UK or Australia. But
Terrible.
I imagine it's difficult. But in America, even me bringing Arlene over as my wife, I had to be means tested. I had to have a minimum income in order to bring her over. And so for some Americans, they may not have that minimum income because it's above poverty level, all right, in order to get them over. So what I'm saying is, John, two things. The first one is as there are many individual reasons why men come to the Philippines, in my opinion. All right. Surely you're correct. The biggest one is they're searching for something better, whether it's
like people in your situation, and I'm not jealous of you
no,
in any way.
I am atypical.
You know, I mean, in reality, these video channels, just like mine and many others, are aimed at people in that level, in that 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 level. Once you start getting above that, they have more choices in life, and they may be using different reasons for why they come here, because those that are in that lower level, or should I say maybe the majority of people who come here to find a wife, they may well be in your situation and they take them back to America. And as you say, it's not an easy task anywhere in the world to take I totally disagree with the attitude of politicians in that. And that is that you love someone, you marry them, why can't you bring them home? Why? And the question also is, when I lived in Australia, there were plenty of politicians that had what they call mail order brides, and they held high positions in politics. But they sure did shut the gate for us guys if we wanted to bring our Filipina, our Thai, our English girl out from England or Thailand to settle in Australia. And that's a different issue altogether. But the majority of people who are asking questions and looking at coming here are not in a position, like yourself and many others who come here from America and Europe, who are well heeled, to use the expression, right? They are coming here and they can afford to jump on a plane, bring their wife on a tourist visa maybe to America, let them see it, and that's a lot easier, as I understand it, as it is in Australia or England to get a tourist visa. Not so easy to get into England, even on a tourist visa.
Actually, it's funny, John. It's actually much easier to get them to America on a green card as a spouse what they call a K1, all right, or a spousal visa, all right,
Okay.
and then they get a green card. For a Filipino to get a tourist visa is a extremely difficult. But to go back to what you were saying, and Ruby may have some idea about that. I know a bar girl that just got a work visa for Australia. She's leaving on the 28th. Now, I don't know how she did it. I just saw her post it. I haven't spoken to her about it. I don't know how it works.
I'm not surprised about Australia, but I am surprised, if you get my meaning. Australia and New Zealand at the moment are falling over backwards to get people in a certain group of category to come there from the Philippines, anywhere in the world.
So it's what, New Zealand and Australia want prostitutes to come over?
I don't think so.
I don't think she. I'm sorry. I said that tongue in cheek. I apologize.
And I think if there was a hint that way, I think border control, when you go through border control, would soon pick up, first of all, unfairly because of their look, and also maybe Chinese, Thai, coming there with limited funds to meet a boyfriend, maybe to get a work permit to work in the, I'll call it the bush, but to go and pick fruit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which they do.
Yeah, and I have no idea. I have no idea. All I know is I saw leaving on the 28th, which means she's gone already, and she finally got her work visa. But getting back to people have differences. You and I have different opinions. Am I different than you? Absolutely. Are you different than me? Without a doubt. All right? But am I, I got to tell you, I know expats here who are off financially way better, further off than we are. All right? I mean, I think that the number of people that have money and the people looking for information about life here, it's all about where they go. Your viewers are looking, I think, more for a common sense approach to a working man's budget. Maybe that's the best way to say it.
It is the best way, because that's the kind of people that are actually attracted to the channel that I've seen. Because my alternative channel attacks me on a daily basis. They are knuckleheads. I call them knuckleheads. They're just a waste of time. So I don't put a lot up on that channel. But the point is that the ones that are American who contact me, I don't know what level they're living in, because we don't know who they are. They're just a comment on the channel. But they do support my point of view. I would say I'll go as far as 85% of them in support of what I have to say, because they're reading between the lines, and everybody who watches any channel has to read between the lines. They do it with your channel, they do it with mine, they do it with Calvin's, they do it with PI Dream, you name them. And everybody's got their different points of view, that's right. And it does surprise me, but it doesn't in the other side. And that is that if you're that wealthy and you can pick anywhere in the world to come to, why would you come to the Philippines? Well, the answer to that is Jane, Marlene, Jane, Janet, whoever the wife is or the girlfriend.
Well,
that's
sure.
The reason.
No, I would. If it were not for Arlen, I would not be here.
Right. So it's not a destination that you would have chosen to come here as a wealthy person or not.
Oh, I would choose to come here to vacation, but I would probably choose to live if I could get a golden visa in Thailand, just because of the infrastructure. But on the other hand, if I was a single guy, I got no idea where I just don't know, John. But my point is, with all of this, is that people are individually different. And because they're different doesn't mean, and because their opinions are different, it doesn't drive people to be rude about it. We don't need to be rude about our differences. Okay? That's just the way it is.
If I read what you're saying, Mike, and I've got intelligence like you, you're offended by my reference in joke form about, now what did I can remember it's right.
I think it was the fat, bald, arrogant white guy in the ivory tower.
I don't think I said a white guy because...
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not.
Well, I apologize if you took offense to that.
Oh, I did.
But
I took serious offense to it. That would be like me attacking your personal looks. You know, I don't do that. I think that's beneath you, John.
I mean, I'm Boris Karloff. I'm Peter O'Toole. I'm Boris Johnson in England because I had my hair long at one time.
But I've never called you that. I've never taken one of your videos and called you Boris Karloff or Peter O'Toole.
The problem was when Mike got involved. Now, Mikey likes to find fault in everything that you do. Whether it's you, well, I mean, you're probably friends with him. I don't know, but you're on his channel quite a bit. And therefore, when I'm talked about by him, by reference, those that are around him agreeing tend to be brushed with the same stroke. Can you not understand that?
Hold on. Say that again. I'm not sure I got the gist of it.
Well, if for argument's sake, you're a guest of another channel and you make reference to me, right, that is derogatory in my mind, then I feel a right to be able to be tongue-in-cheek and make a comment to you. I mean, I never saw an image of Uncle Jester or Uncle Lester or whatever his name was from the Addams family. Then I suddenly realized, I went to Google and I saw it and I said, oh, shit.
No, John. Wait a minute. Let's not confuse two things. For me to sit there and say, I think John is a dumbass, that's wide open. You can attack that all you want. All right? But for me to sit there and say, you know what? XYZ about John's personal appearance, about his how he supports his family. Nah, you know, that's a personal attack. All right? For me to go after your opinion, for me to say I think your opinion is stupid, that's not a personal attack. That's your opinion. For me to go after you physically, nah. Come on, John. Let's not play that game. Look, John, I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. I want the views. I want the watch time. The drama does me good. All right? And you know it, and it does you good as well. All right? And driving that distance into it is fine. But you don't have to drive in the ditch to get there. You certainly don't. Now, I will also say this. I never said, and you touched on this earlier when you were talking before you got with Glitch, all right? You touched on this briefly about Jane. And I think I got the gist of it, but I didn't get it all because of the problem with the sound. But I think that you're absolutely correct. You going after or being derogatory of somebody's family is, I think, lower than a professional expectation. I really and truly do. If I were to say something negative about Jane or negative about your kids or Jane's children, that would be a bad thing. And you know what? I think you said something. Jane reads the comments. Jane sees what's happening. So does Arlene. And I know how Arlene would feel. All right?
Well, I apologize to Arlene.
Oh, no.
As well.
You did not. You did not. I'm not accusing you of that at all. I'm not accusing you of that at all. I'm just agreeing with that statement.
To you, Mike, we can be stupid. I can wear the stupid hat like that thing that came up this morning on, what is it? A cup or something I got for the week. I don't know. But the point is that if I offended you by describing you that way, I did apologize to you before. I'll apologize to you again. I'm not that insensitive to people. And I'm sorry that well, actually, both of us should be happy because I'm sure it's created a little bit, like you say, views and interest, because everybody likes a bit of, again, I'll use the expression, drama-getting.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not going to go after somebody personally. I mean, I could sit there and talk about a number of people whose personal appearance or lifestyle is absolutely off the rock, all right, as far as I'm concerned. But that's my opinion. It's not like you and I are going to, I'm not driving up to Nagillion, all right, putting on a little aftershave, and we're going to swap spit. I don't care what you look like, all right? It doesn't matter to me. It's not going to get a rise out of my nether regions, okay?
Well,
so
the thing is, Mike, if we went up to the Bella Vista resort together and had a coffee, people would describe us as the two pungats.
Oh, I got Mike from Mike's Philippine Journey just joined us. But I do have a question before Mike starts, before you guys. Ruby earlier asked, and Ruby, can you just, before you go into this, you know what, Dave? Not Dave, I'm sorry, John. Would you do a video explaining your Australian pension stuff? Ruby was trying to figure it out because she lives in Australia. She's lived there for 20, 30 years. She's an engineer, but she's a born and raised and educated Filipina, and she's trying to get a grasp on that. So perhaps a video on that explaining how the Australian pension system works would be something, because she may have, I would hate for you to waste your time on that. But Mike, good morning. It's a little late where you are.
I know, right? It's a little bit late, man. What's going on?
Oh my goodness.
I guess my name is Mikey right now.
Now, Mike, that's the Mike. I'm not being rude, but I don't want to be quite honestly associated with Mike's channel. So I will, if it's okay with you, I will just sit back and listen.
That's your prerogative. That's your prerogative, John.
But I do thank you for allowing me on today and giving me a chance to, gremlins were in there for either you or me, one or the others. But, that's fine. But I think you understand where I'm coming from, and I understand where you're coming from.
Our understanding is we are never going to agree. Our opinions are just different. Our ways of life are different. That doesn't make it right or wrong. They're different. We're never going to agree. But a good argument like this once in a while, couple thousand views, I'm a happy camper. So either way, Mike, what have you got? What's going on with you, young man?
I guess I'm like the boogeyman. I'm sorry. I should have just stayed away from this one and let him talk. Nothing much, man. Just just kind of want to jump in the thing because he mentioned my name, and you know, it's funny how he talks about people. He did the he looks like this, he looks like that, even though you never called him that person before, right? But yet he's the guy that actually jumps in using ad hominems and name calling and description of features and everything like that, which is wrong. And then all of a sudden, when he gets called on that, then he's gonna be like, it took him a while to apologize for it, right? But then the thing though is he doesn't want people to talk about him, which is really weird to me. And he said something about people jumping in the comments in my channel, okay, and he doesn't appreciate that. But the thing though is, doesn't he listen to the same comments as well in his channel to then create this narrative that, I mean, just like earlier on today, I don't know if you picked it up, where he goes, all these men who are not, or I'm going to paraphrase here, not appreciating of the United States, England, Australia, and New Zealand, right? Because that's what he gets in his channel, or what he said in his view, what people are saying. But then what he does is he removes New Zealand and Australia because it's a good place.
Right. Well, I will agree 100%. I mean, here's the bottom line is he attacks America. All right. He never attacks Australians. He never talks about them not being prepared or not being able to plan. He never says anything that about New Zealand that I've heard of offhand. I mean, and he may have, but it's been so few. So I think what happens is we have to take a look at, what? It's a business and it's a game, and it's out there to, it makes you wonder how much of what, if somebody is going to drive themselves to America. Now, his excuse is 85% of his comments come from Americans or something like that. All right. And 60 some odd or 70 some odd percent of his members are Americans, or his views are American. That's fine. But I think my point with this was, he gets to a point where he lets it get past information. It's no longer credible information when it becomes that way. When it becomes something to go get clicks.
Yeah, I agree. And to add it is, how can you fully measure the percentile of the comments saying that this is an American comment compared to this is from somebody who's from UK and stuff like that? But if your majority of your comments that he's getting are these guys saying about America or saying these things, but still you can't really put a number to say it's really this much amount of people who's disenfranchised with their country. And it doesn't matter which country they're from. But one thing he does is he does single out Americans. And you know what? Let it be, I guess. But at the very same time is, don't all of a sudden think that we're not going to push back. Don't all of a sudden think that, one thing that can happen in America is we are so divided in America, especially nowadays. The division is just crazy. But if you attack the country as a whole, everyone will join up together to
well, and yet he's had. I don't like the angle this is at. It's looking down on me. I'm starting to look like Uncle Fester the Mushroom. But either way, I think what happens is he's had free reign. Nobody's called him on it. The only people that really call him on it are the people that he just bans or removes the comments from. All right. But nobody's countered him with this process. And in the end, he'll probably make good money off of this. I mean, he'll get clicks and views. Ruby, he didn't. Now I asked him to make a video for you to answer your comment. I'm sorry. No, nobody's pushed, but like you said, nobody's pushed back on him.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is going to stick around. I think it's going, and that's why I called him toxic. All right. When he's going to make these arguments, that's a sign of a toxic individual. When you can't agree to disagree, when it's my way or the highway, when what I say is the golden rule, okay? I mean, that's the same thing as like with Calvin, all right? He's toxic, all right? He's like, you know what? He reminds me of a tampon, toxic shock. He's horrible for women, all right? It's like leaving it in there too long. But either way, and what you worry about is men who follow blindly. Now, I will tell you, I've had some very nice back and forth comments with the expat Ian, which is one of John's friends. Mm-hmm. All right. And he seems to be a very rational, straightforward guy. He really does. But again, the budget thing is totally out of whack a little bit. But it is what it is. And that's why I said people have them in so many directions.
I agree. I agree in that.
So, but look, I think I'm going to cut it to an end here. And
sure.
Unless you've got something you want to talk about.
Just to follow up on what you said.
Sure.
When, no one ever, gives them pretty much a clap back, pretty much what you're saying. Nobody if he says something, nobody really goes after him because he'll silence them. And the perfect explanation is what happened a few minutes back. And that is when you finally hit back at him, he says, and called him out. When you said, I never called you that, when he was self-deprecating himself, I never called you that. What he's doing here is you could tell right away he's projecting maybe all the different things that he's been called in his channel by other guys that is maybe clapping back at him, but he just cancels them. He just repeated, things that described him, that other people described him, but you never did. And so he's pretty much bunching all of us Americans all together. That's all that he's doing. And when you finally pointed it out to him, he realized that he apologized. But I feel, in my honesty, when I was trying to log in, that was just a very fake apology what he did, right? But you were able to make him back off when nobody else got him to back off. And it's funny, all of a sudden I jump in and he's like, I'm leaving. Because that's the thing, he can't handle when people is able to put him in his place. And other people don't see that, unfortunately, just see his content, they jump in, and that's what they're going to hear. They're going to, 35,000, I can live in the Philippines that way. Well, I sort of kind of did that in my video earlier on today, explained that where did that 35,000 go after everything that he's explained? And that's the thing. He's not going to be able to go after that. But that's the thing. There's people like that, unfortunately. And I think that for the longest time, you brought up Calvin. For the longest time, a lot of these, how would you say, I call them old head vloggers, meaning the OGs, old school guys, not about their age, but a lot of these guys never clap backs because nobody that really knows about the Philippines as much, and a lot of guys are just believing it, and a lot of guys are going to become suckers when they arrive to the Philippines.
It surprises me, it really does. I mean, there are bloggers, and here's the part that I don't get. There are vloggers out there with 10 years living in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. But their information is based on getting views.
Yep.
And that is just so detrimental. I believe that the world economy is in a position right now where people are looking for change, and they may be picking the wrong places for change based on the wrong information.
Agreed.
All right. And while everything, something, it's kind of like this. I made a comment to Ian, who's actually in the channel right now. Feel free to cam up, Ian. I made an information to him, a comment to him about budget videos.
Okay.
All right. It would take, the reason people like me don't make big, in-depth budget videos, because a real budget video would take an hour. It would be an hour worth of information, and even then, it's not going to carry on all of it. Like, for instance, you got to budget food for your dog. Well, you know what? You need to budget some vet visits, and you need to budget some, flea powder. But who's going to go into that kind of detail? And then who's going to listen to it? Who's going to listen to an hour? So what we try and do is get people to cover the basics, the absolute basics: food, electric, women, dating, transportation. You know the basics, okay?
Yeah.
And that's where we run into bigger problems. And then we run into problems, I think, and I don't understand this. You do business in the U.S. I did business in the U.S. I actually did business internationally, but the vast majority of it in the U.S. When you create a startup, and moving to the Philippines is a startup, right?
Yep.
Your budget for a startup is going to have capital. It's going to have capital for growth. It's going to have money to ramp up, all right, and get you to the point where you're making money, all right? But we don't include all of that. We never do.
Don't forget, in business, you do a feasibility.
Yep.
That's before you even start, raising the capital, all those things, and your budgeting and stuff like that. You create a feasibility study, and sometimes there's the 3 different feasibility studies that you're going to do depending on what market you're trying to get into. And that's where a lot of people don't understand, what goes on. What's your project research? What's your potential customer base? So it's like customer base. If you're eventually looking for a woman, where is the best place to be able to find the majority of potential customers or women for you? And a lot of guys a lot of guys get into business, don't even do that. They just go
That's
by
true.
emotions and jump into it, right? And they go, don't worry, it'll just happen. It'll arrive. And so it's the same exact thing on how people handle their lives as well. And it's just unfortunate. And then, do you have something for those 3 months? How long is it going to take to be able to, before you start seeing profit? How, do you have the budget for the 3 months in case until, there's no profit that starts coming in? And a lot of guys don't get into that when it comes to business. A lot of guys don't do that when it comes to their lives.
Yeah. I think what happens is that we tend to generalize things. And when we generalize things, the details get omitted. And when the details get omitted, then all of a sudden it's wrong. It's all wrong. All right? Because you forgot this, because you didn't say that. It's wrong. And then you've got to get up to the point. In fact, Ruby says her budget has dog food, vet bills, deworming, and fleas. All right? But what comes to terms with some of this stuff is basically, everybody's individual as well. And what I'm going to do how I'm going to run my life is way different than you or anybody else. Okay?
Agreed.
My life as a married man, all right, it's not going to be the same as a single guy. It's not going to be the same as a guy that's looking to fall in love. All right? My life is not going to be the same as a 40-year-old guy that feels like he's in perfect health and he doesn't need to live near a hospital or any of those types of things. So, I mean, it just, everybody's individual. And then even people my age, all right, they may not like the life. They don't want the life I live. They want something. My mother is the perfect example. All right. My mother is 84 years old.
Okay.
She washes her Ziploc bags.
God bless her.
All right. Let me tell you, if there's a can of something she opened up and she throws it away, you can rest assured you won't be able to scrape a bit of food out of it. My mother lives so cheap. Not cheap.
Okay.
That's a terrible word. My mother was raised in the Depression, and she takes advantage of everything.
Hey, Mike, I got to go answer this phone. Okay, I'll talk to you later on. Okay.
Okay. Look, take care. Be good. So there we go. All right, Mike. I tell people go to a small town, real life experience. You never know. All right, folks. Well, I tell you what, I think we've taken enough of your time today. I want to thank all of you for just a ton of comments and everything that goes along with it. I want to thank Mike and John for camming up and talking. And we certainly do appreciate everybody's time. Thanks so much. And after this posts, yeah, Ruby, my mom lives way frugally. All right, my brother and I support my mother, and I kid you not, it's other than medical and in the wintertime gas for heat, my mother actually lives completely on her Social Security. All right, she really does. She's a little bit crazy, but she's a good girl. All right. A good woman. She absolutely is. Okay. So everybody else, take care. Have a great day. I hope to catch up with you guys soon.